Ready?
Wait, yes.
Hitting go live.
Okay.
And we're back. Those are all the movies. Thank you for that great discussion. I guess we're out.
So, welcome back. Time has passed, or no time has passed. Because this is part 2! The sticker, the falling off sticker. Because look, it was such a rush to put on sticker. The tape isn't keeping it on properly, okay? But we meant well.
Yeah.
With our sticker.
Yeah, we're back to finish our look at live-action Star Wars ranking. We got to the shows, and we had to quit, so got all the movies ranked. And today we're going to continue on with the shows, because there's a few to talk about.
Plus our negotiative post-ranking, where Super Chats can alter our opinion. Because there were some controversial people saying we're controversial, you're controversial. No. Who knows, right? That is also yet to come. Are we right? You have a chance to say no! And the colour of the Super Chat is how loud that volume of that no is. Or it could be if you want to donate a no! You can do as well.
You have the power.
Yes. Like George Lucas in his many remakes, redos. And let's start sharing. See you in a minute.
Go for it. It's my chance to hang out with you guys and say, hey, you know what? You know what you should do? It'll be fun. You know what? Help us out. Hit that like button. Just give it a little tap. Give it a little love nudge. There you go. Hit that like button. Don't forget to super chat in your thoughts, opinions. Very strong arguments can influence things with these tier list rankings. We want to hear from you guys. We're talking about some controversial stuff right now with the Disney Star Wars stuff. So by all means, chime in and let us know your thoughts. If you think we're being a little too harsh or being not harsh enough, let us know. Super chats carry weight in this one, so we'll get to yours in a second. Classic for real, don't worry. Also, check out the join button down below. You can join our Trekyards fleet, or you can head over to Patreon/Trekyards. That's another way to support us as well. Same tiers, ranks, privileges, perks, all apply over there also. So go check it out. Be your own starship, or be serving on a starship. Or, by all means, click the links down below for Teespring, TeePublic, and awayteamgear.com, and check out the Trekyards stuff there. It'll help us out. Please do it. You know you want to.
I know they want to.
I know. And Classic for Real throws in $5 right away. Here's another $5. How much more to get the entire sequel trilogy to F tier? $1,000 super chat will move all of the sequel trilogy to the F tier.
And we've had 50, and that's moved a thing sort of any way you want it. So sort of 50 is a negotiable number at the end if you want to, because this is the definitive list of the internet, right? Like once this is locked in, this is the actual list of the actual internet, From us at least, yeah. Don't be adding qualifiers that ruin it, Stuart. Of the internet. And then the tiny one font of us. But you can't say it out loud, Stuart. 100% font.
Oh, okay. That's the fine print. Sorry, I wasn't supposed to read that.
Right. What should you do for a poll, Stuart? What do you think? We've got some stuff on the board.
Do our rankings on movies look good? Yes or no? Good way to start out. Or it could be something controversial, like do you like Disney Star Wars?
We'll go with the first one first.
Cool. Yeah. So, anyhow, we're looking forward to hearing your thoughts as well, guys. Like I said, this is a controversial one, getting into the Disney Star Wars and what they've kind of done. Some of these projects that we're going to be talking about were supposed to be movies, and then Solo, a Star Wars movie, came along and ruined all that. So now they are a series, and I think some of them benefit from being series as opposed to movies, and vice versa. I think some of them should have been movies. Perfect example, when we talked about yesterday, Rogue One. When I went back and rewatched that would have made a much better series than a movie. It was a fantastic movie. It did have some issues, but I think overall it could have benefited from having like 6 episodes. I'm just saying, could have used more time. So,
and you'd have less of they're definitely going to die if there's more.
Exactly.
Because you could say, aha, we found our way out of something.
And they could have included the TIE fighter.
Yeah.
Just saying.
So I was putting your thoughts, comments, question, guys. So we have currently in the S tier, the original Star Wars and Empire Strikes Back. I think both for different reasons, but both are classics. How do you feel about that top tier so far?
Seems accurate.
And then A tier, and obviously these can be, you know, A+, A-, A. So there's a slight gradient within the rankings, but it didn't quite get Return of the Jedi, which makes the third original film and the third prequel in A tier. How do you feel about that?
Happy with those as well. Both very comparable movies, I think, with the episode 3 being the best of the sequel or the prequel trilogy. So
that's right. It's funny. I do think some of Return of the Jedi is a B, but some of it is also an S. You know, hence the averaging.
Well, yeah, hence the A.
It's just it's a bit more of a contrasty film.
That's how things work.
Yep. Well, we negotiated. We did negotiate. B, Attack of the Clones, The Force Awakens, and Rogue One. So that's a broad spectrum of the middle prequel, the initial sequel, and the spin-off that everyone likes.
Yeah.
Thoughts on that then? Because that's a pretty broad. They're both three very different films.
They are, and they include the sequel trilogy, the prequel trilogy, and then an one-off, and I think that's great. I'm happy with those rankings as well.
It's funny. Well, you know, we debated all of these for a long time, so we had a good yell, right? Attack of the Clones isn't a great film or anything, but it's better than Phantom Menace and has lots of good elements to it. It's one of those things where it's like it's a B- sort of thing. And Force Awakens is so much fun, but it's so much trash, but it's still so fun. And Rogue One, for me, like I say, a lot of filler. Not even filler, just why? And wow.
Yeah.
Strange.
Do you agree that Rogue One would have been better as a series, though?
Well, yeah, I mean, could you imagine if they had Andor Season 1, Andor Season 2, Andor Season 3, Rogue One? Like, if that had been the structure, you know. And then maybe Andor Season 4, A New Hope. He doesn't die, you know. Which would have been funny to go into the New Hope.
And I guess they kind of did do, like, they turned Rogue One into a series with Andor a little bit, even though it's a prequel. But, yeah.
I mean, it would allow you to do a lot more integration of R2-D2, C-3PO, Mon Mothma, like those things. Now, obviously Mon Mothma is hugely in Andor, but she's to the side, so it's great. It doesn't feel an integrated part. Because it's a prequel, she's in the Senate, which is great to see, but it's not the same vibe. In Rogue One, she's where she's placed in the New Hope, so therefore we get to enjoy all the modern day. And you can imagine if they made Rogue One a series, you could include Red Squadron, you could include all the different squads, you could include Blockade Runner, make that a standing set. You know, you could do a lot more of the basically, you know, a prequel series to A New Hope is what it is in essence. That, if you said it like that, would have been fun. Especially if you add, you know, can you imagine, like, you know, well, maybe not getting Mark Hamill to reprise as 18-year-old Luke, but I don't think he could be well, I don't know, maybe.
Yeah.
But imagine including them. And I wonder if you included in Rogue One the actors that played Aunt Beru and Lars from the prequels. Are they almost at the age where the other actors were? Probably yes, age-wise, but not look-wise, because obviously they look a lot younger, because we all look younger as we're growing older.
Yeah. Well, before we continue, Ray Ricks, though, £5.
Thank you.
First live in some time. How much to get the Star Trek 2009 was basically Abrams' attempt to turn Star Trek into Star Wars. Oh, you want to put 2009 on this list?
I mean, 20? 20 and someone can make a graphic and it can accidentally slide in? I mean,
as far as a Star Wars movie, I mean, that might be a B tier. Who knows?
It's got some Star Wars to it. 20 and we'll get a graphics card on it, because that does help.
I don't think Brett's even here, actually.
Oh, I'm sure I can work it out last minute.
Yeah.
Dear me. I mean, yeah, there is a lot of Star Wars in it. A lot of the parallel visuals.
Yeah.
And that's okay?
Is it, though?
Is it though?
Yeah.
Yes. And then, of course, we have our C tier, which is C average for you, or is there not really a thing as average in this life? It's just ranking the qualities? Like, where do those sit? In the idea of average and above average or below average, where do they sit?
I think B tier for me is average, honestly.
Okay.
As far as episode 1 and Solo, I enjoyed both of them for different reasons, but I also criticized them for many other reasons. So I think they're exactly where they need to be. Considering there's an S tier, there's one above A, I could really consider B tier to be the average. So C tiers are just a little bit below average. Yeah.
I think, I feel like for me, you have C as average, B is above average, A is great, and then S is just almost perfect, because it lets you have D below average and then F trash. So if C's average, then above average, excellent, and then...
Yeah.
But, the average is moved by the stuff around it, right? This tier list doesn't quite work for that, because Phantom Menace has some of the best lightsaber fights, and some of the worst dialogue.
I'll be right back. Just 1 second, okay?
Okay. And Solo, of course, the confusing prequel, and then we're going to do all of the other things, etc. I'm not watching my video. Is everything okay? Let me up the bitrate of the video then. We can up it a little bit. Let's try 5,000 kilobytes. Are you stable, OBS? You are... Yes, you're stable. But yeah, let us know what you think of this lineup as we think about we're going to place everything else. There's a lot more Star Wars. And we're getting to the series, of course. We get the... Where's the list? We get the Boba Fett, Mandalorian 1, 2, and 3, Ahsoka, Obi-Wan, and Andor, I suppose, season 1. So a good amount of stuff to go, where they kind of condense the movie budget into a TV show, but also padding, so they're not telling straightforward stories. Crazy.
I have returned.
Return of the Stewart. Or Revenge of the Stewart. Did I?
It'd be Revenge.
D, we have the joke films in this context. Wow. Caravan of Courage, Battle of Endor, Rise of Skywalker. The joke films.
Yeah, 2 on a made-for-TV budget and 1 that's big budget, but still.
It's probably the biggest budget, you'd think, of Rise of Skywalker. Surely the biggest of all of these so far. Maybe, yeah. Well, we wouldn't lower the budget, I don't feel like. And then F, the Holiday Special, and The Last Jedi. 2 very different ends of the spectrum, Stuart. What do you think?
Yeah, different ends of the spectrum for sure, especially budget-wise.
Also, a nickel and a million, yeah. They
both treat the legacy characters like shit, and that's why they're at the F tier, I think. Yeah. That's the common denominator there.
As I said yesterday, Rise of Skywalker doesn't make me mad. Last Jedi makes me mad.
Yeah.
That there's a level of... Because there's not many things like... Do any of the Trek films make... Well, yeah, I guess 09 of Darkness, there's some mad things about them. I suppose those are the equivalent, but the mainline Trek films, nothing makes you mad. Okay, let's move on to the TV shows. The new era. Because we had the old era, the new era, the newest era, and the newest era within our TV shows. Mandalorian, Season 1. What happened in Season 1? That is a good question. Because I'm back in the series territory.
So much happened in Season 1. It was a reintroduction to Star Wars for me, honestly.
Yeah.
I wasn't sure how this series was going to go, and then, but right away from beat 1, this season of this new show just killed it. I think on every level, we got the introduction of new characters: Mandalorian, Grogu, Grieve Karga, I think is his name, Cara Dune. So many fantastic characters and new ships, like the Razor Crest. I wasn't a big fan of the Razor Crest when I first saw it. It grew on me pretty quickly, and I kind of missed the thing now. Yeah, this showed the love, and it also showed the respect for the franchise as well. You saw the interior of a X-Wing cockpit. The display screens looked exactly like they should have from 1977, and there was no updating of those kind of things, much like our poor Star Trek got upgraded. It's a period piece, treated as such. They did a fantastic job, and I think this is just a stellar way to kick off the new series of Star Wars. So there you go. How about you? I know you, well, I'm pretty sure you like this one.
Well, we did review these, and then you guys didn't care, so we stopped. But this is when because we were so excited, and you guys weren't. But this is, I mean, it's so fascinating that you talked about the other two made-for-TV products. This is also sort of made-for-TV in a small sense, but felt like Star Wars. They captured a vibe, even though there was no Jedi. Yes, the main character was looking at Boba Fett. That obviously helps, but it's doing its own thing in season 1, especially. It is kind of its own thing in the Star Wars universe. But it straddles that line very well of incorporating the existent universe visuals, like having episode with Jawas, which you were pissed off about because you thought they were Tatooine exclusive. But they're not. Hey.
No, they're not. I'm pissed off about it, just annoying.
Oh, I remember. You were not a thrilled man. Okay, just yeah. So it is a very good use of that balance of things and new things. Obviously, the main character was an excellent choice, stoic, simple. The Lone Ranger. I mean, it's trope city, right? But that's what Star Wars 1 is. It's all the classic tropes put in a sci-fi setting. This did that again, and fresh. Cara Dune, great. The idea of the bounty hunter was great. The villain, Moff Gideon, is okay. I don't think he's meant to be great. I think he's just meant to be a guy who's bad. Like, he's okay. You know what I mean? He's fine. Like, season 1, I'm in context, right? He's fine. He's there. I like his Dark Troopers from Rogue One. I like that bit. The LED wall, I mean, that is groundbreaking tech. It's literally a technique that they use on James Bond to let them drive cars and such for a projection. It's been around for all of the time. But, seeing in Chapter 3 when they talk to Mr. Herzog, I think that's his name, what his name was, and the entire room's an LED room. And so, you didn't build a set? No, just put a table and some chairs in a room, and then the room's window, its walls that are CG. So, ridiculous stuff, right? So cleverly crafted, small scale with cleverness that you just can't tell. Ending wasn't the best, but it was a lead-in to more. But the first two are excellent. Baby Yoda rocked the world, not the internet, the world. The zeitgeisted, and it was very, very good. And it was really standalone, but also really good.
I'm very happy to select this in S tier. Because it was a return to real Star Wars form.
Yes. Just with quality storytelling, yes. Because it's oddly not reliant on a lot of things, even though it is reliant on a lot of things. I think the average is higher in this season overall. Doesn't mean the highs and lows aren't, but the average overall is very good.
Agreed. So you're happy with S tier?
I am. And was Gunslinger the one that introduced the... No, that was season 2. Yeah, I think S tier in terms of just quality of the show, of the storytelling. And having IG8 or IG11 and just some fun stuff. And like the 6 or 7 miniature shots of the Mandalorian ship, the Razor Crest, just looking so sexy, and even though it's literally the Firefly, right? It is the Firefly revamped. I mean, it's shockingly the same. Guess what? It worked the first time. Let's do it again.
It's a Firefly, but just not ugly.
So Razor's Firefly, yeah. Cool. Now, season 2.
Yes.
Can they lightning in a bottle again?
I think they did. But what are your thoughts on season 2? You get to go first for this one.
I mean, of course, hugely biased because having Luke at the end, even though we sort of quote unquote guessed, knew, expected. I often give you what could be's, right? And they don't happen. So if this one's actually happened, and it's such a heroic, successful scene where just like seeing Enterprise D return, I felt the exact same energy and power, and Dad was sitting next to me. He didn't know. He didn't notice the X-wing the same way I did. He didn't notice the music like I did. Didn't notice the cope like I did. Like all the clues are there, but that scene is S tier. That whole episode is S tier. End of story, right? Boba Fett, he's very kick-ass in this. Also S tier. He's much weaker later on, but in that one he's phenomenal. I do think the one with the Crate Dragon with Timothy Olyphant is also S tier, excellent. It's the middle stuff I'm not sure about. I'm going to end my review there so you can jump in, because those things are S tier, but the rest, you tell me.
Well, before I jump in, Ray Ricks throws in 2 pounds. It
Thank
says
you.
Rebels A and Clone Wars B. Yeah, but we're not talking about those because they're not live action. So
I also have not seen every episode, so it would not be quite as fair.
yeah. Yeah, season 2 for me, again, maintain the momentum. I didn't find much, if anything, wrong with the season. I don't really know the lows you're talking about specifically. But yeah, Boba Fett being back. We got... now I'm drawing a blank, god damn it. The Darksaber, Bo-Katan shows up. Some really fun episodes, and definitely expanding on the lore of not only Star Wars but Mandalorian. I think they did a stellar job. The ending with Luke, top notch, 100%. I got more excited for R2-D2 showing up, but hey, that's me. And it was kind of a sad send-off. It was almost like the end of the Empire Strikes Back. It's kind of like, oh, no, baby Grogu's gone.
Mm-hmm.
We also got the introduction of Ahsoka in this one. Found out Grogu's name, and
is she in this season? Yeah. Oh yeah, she is. Yeah.
There's a lot to like here, and even it sets up the bad guy for the Ahsoka series, the lady. I can't recall her name offhand. In that episode, so. And also you had Michael Biehn in this as a bad guy, which is Reese from Terminator.
He gets killed like a bitch.
He's a fantastic actor, though, so it was nice to have him join the Star Wars cast.
It's just a bit funny in this.
There's a lot here. I mean, I don't know of anything that I didn't like in Season 2. I think Season 2 might be, if not equal to, but better than Season 1.
So I'm scrolling through screen caps, and the one in the cave is okay at best. As in the cave stuff. Cave? Yeah.
Yeah, it's not that great.
Like,
but
the back and forth with the animal guys, phenomenal. But the cave's only okay. It's a real step down in terms of cleverness.
It is, but that one has the X-Wings, and that's where you get to see
but for seconds. I mean, I'm sorry about the whole episode. I know what you mean, but that's not...
Yeah.
Still episode. The Bo-Katan one's good, but it's a bit odd. It's paced weird. I remember it's not as good as it could have been. And that's 2 out of 8, right? You know what I mean? Like, there's a few things... like that, and remember the Imperial ship at the end. The LED wall doesn't work quite well in it, and some of the for me, remember I think I said some of the stuff with the samurai episode with Ahsoka works really well. Some didn't structurally, some a bit weird. You know, it was a bit less consistent, but the highs are really high. I think this is the one with the
highs are more high than season
1.
Oh
yeah, but I think the average is there's a few less good things. But the fact that you get Slave 1 stuff is wonderful. Yes, it is Slave 1.
Mm-hmm.
Him back.
But the Razor Crest gets destroyed.
It does. Oh yeah, but this is also the one where they put Grogu on a mountain and then he gets kidnapped, and it's like, huh?
Yes. Yeah.
And then even though Boba's epic, he's like, let's kill these one at a time stormtroopers that are shit. It's both epic and also stupid at the same time, but of course he is epic. But yeah, I mean, for the Luke moment alone, I think the first one's really good. I think just it's more convoluted, and since I have not seen season 3 yet, this must be the one where they go to that outpost with the Carl Urban, the Rocky guy.
Yeah, Grief Karga is his name.
Oh yeah, there you go. So they go. That episode's not very good. Like, it's fine. That one's definitely a low point. And they're teasing clone stuff that they never quite go into. So there are 3 that I can name that are not quite as good. But still great. And Timothy's great in it.
Yeah, to me it just felt like a continuation of season 1, and especially quality-wise. They even upped the ante a bit, so...
No, hugely, yeah.
For me, it's S tier.
Yes. Down. Like I said, the good is higher.
Boom, baby. S tier.
I've not seen season 3 because I never got round to it, which tells you how...
We're not going into season 3 yet because Boba Fett was next.
But does that tell you how unexciting the trailer was? I didn't make it appointment television because it was not a good trailer. I remember.
Doesn't mean it wasn't a good season. I enjoyed the hell out of season 3.
A lot of people didn't like it. I mean, the reviews were not good, so there was even less of like, I mean, go watch it. It's like, oh, People didn't like it.
Go watch it. Make up your own mind. I don't want to count on reviews.
Mm-hmm.
There are a few episodes that were kind of but we'll get there.
Just got to make up.
Next up is Book of Boba Fett. A very anticipated one.
Very. That was a great ending to Mandalorian, where he goes to Jabba's palace. They recreate the set. He gets the original Bib Fortuna actor from the prequels. He's back, and they shoot him or get off the throne. You think, yes, they're announcing a new show inside of another show inside of a teaser for a post-credit sequence. But how was it?
It was good. I thought it was good. I enjoyed it. A lot of people didn't. They didn't like the Sand People aspect of it. I really love that, to learn more about the Sand People of Tatooine and how they're kind of like, indigenous people, and to learn about their history and their culture. I thought was great. Kind of makes it more sad when Anakin slaughters a whole tribe of them.
And the women and the children.
Yes. But the most important thing out of Boba Fett season 1 was Mandalorian season 2.5. Where Mandalorian's in 2 episodes. One is completely dedicated to him. And Return of Luke Skywalker, young Luke Skywalker, training Grogu. R2-D2's back, of course. It was kind of an odd, jarring, like, slam on the brakes of Boba Fett. We're going to sidestep Mandalorian. And you're wondering what are you going to do for Mandalorian season 3, considering this would have been awesome in season 3 of Mandalorian. It just seems odd for the Boba Fett show to just totally ignore Boba Fett for an episode, but whatever. Also had Ahsoka return in that one as well. So, man, I understand why people don't like it. The biker game thing was kind of stupid. I know what they were basing it on, but the biker gang on Tatooine was just kind of dumb. The Rancor fight at the end I thought was interesting. I liked the Rancor pet idea. The fact that it gets delivered that as a peace offering from some of the Hutts. Yeah, there we go. That's my thoughts for now. I'll see what you say.
I was so excited for this because it's just such an obvious win for an idea, right? Boba Fett, the legendary non-speaking, dies in 13 minutes of screen time character, who you've set up well by setting up his clone son and or his clone dad, and really cool. And it's filled with tremendous ideas. And I understand the basic through line of he was a real murderous prick in his past life, and then he almost died and had a really, really hard time living out of the Sarlacc pit, which is the best start ever. And then he learns to feel different about his world from living with these natives for a bit. And he grows. And that's phenomenal as a concept. Unfortunately, you take a badass character and you make him a shit, non-badass character who's weak in his own show and does very illogical things constantly. So you radically weaken the character, which kind of shows that he's kind of a baddie, he's kind of anti-hero, making him a softer character. Without really good writing, it kind of fails strongly. So the main point of the show, Boba Fett post Tatooine thing, kind of fails. It's stuff around it that succeeds. I thought all the Tusken Raider stuff was interesting, well paced, interesting, visually cool. I liked him, getting the bikers and getting that train heist to get the stuff. I liked him threatening the guild there and taking over. All fun, right? The biker gang in the present day, obvious garbage. Like, I'm sure whoever thought it got fired. It's terrible, right? Love the set, but you realize how small the set is very quickly. It's like one street, and it feels cheap after the third episode. The lady assassin I forgot the name of. Amazing. Underused ridiculously. Luke Skywalker episode, incredible. S tier. I mean, just the fact they could do that is absolutely S tier. I loved seeing him build his new fighter. Beautiful, S tier. And there's not much else Boba Fett in it. I've sort of summarised the entire season. There's very little going on when you think about it. I both do and don't like the end. It's a fun idea, but it was incredibly boring. And unbelievable for any seconds that those civilians thought, let's just keep shooting an undefeatable shield until it works. As if that's a strategy. The whole thing is a broken, structurally shitty, boring, crappy ending. Which would, as I told you at the time, it obviously should have had Han Solo show up and walk down and help save, because he's cool with friends, as he says in the season. You know, who can we call? His person that hated me years ago. He's got a ship. He's got experience. Boom, here he is. They could have made it 1,000 times better. Could have brought in Leia. Could have brought in Luke to be there. Didn't do any of that stuff. Piss poor ending relative to the show. And obviously undid the Mandalorian Season 2 subplot because it fixed it in another show. And that was the most interesting part of Season 2 almost. So, a lot of good ideas, but a lot of terrible execution. Just fundamentally terrible execution. Like the prequels.
Yeah. And Chrysanthemum showing up, it was great to see him in live action, the big Wookiee. But when he first attacks Boba, he would have easily killed him.
Yep. Sure.
I'm sorry, that's just kind of dumb. But it was great that he ended up working with them, and it was a great addition, I think. So there's a lot of good mixed with a lot of And
you got the bounty hunter from the animated show, which appeared and then got killed instantly. He might not be dead, but he was... You don't introduce him as the big bad in the last episode and then kill him. Just terrible structurally done. But the Jabba's cousins was great. The Rancor thing with Danny Trejo was great, fun.
Yeah.
Like I said, a lot of good ideas, a lot of terrible execution. And they also had not enough confidence in their own show to then dedicate 1.5 to a different show.
Yeah.
That's a symbol of we haven't done a good enough job here. But the stuff that people say don't like, I like. It's the show itself, the main story that's weak, because it's not him being him. And it's weird, because he could have been a vicious crime boss and still be a good guy. Because there's lines of good and bad, right?
A lot of standout moments, for sure. Eric Martin, though, $5. I'm still not sure that they kept keeping Grogu with Jim instead of Luke. Kept Grogu with Kirk instead of Luke was a good story choice, but we shall see. Yeah, you did mean Jin. Get corrected. Okay, Jin Darren. Ray Ricks, £5. It says a lot that the best Boba Fett episodes were the Mando episodes. Oh, absolutely.
And that's hands down. That's without any shadow of a doubt, right?
I enjoyed it more than the average person, I think, because like you, I enjoyed the Sand People aspect of it. A lot of people did not like that.
As Trekyards says, it was an absolute slog at times. It absolutely was.
Yes.
I mean, I feel a comfortable C, honestly, because it's so... Like, if you cut it down to a movie or a 2-part movie, it could be phenomenal. But there's so much...
I was going to say B. Because
of the Mandalorian episodes.
Yeah, well, the highs are high.
The highs are high. Okay, we'll show you what's on B and C. Make the thumbnail smaller. Because that's 2 full episodes out of it.
I'm going to put it in between B and C.
Yeah, we'll let people negotiate us on that one, because that's so strange. Because, Because I S-tier the Luke episode every day of the week. It's so well. Because I know how hard that is. And how much of improvement from the last time we saw Luke, like 6 months earlier. The improvement was staggering. Amazing.
It was just a great episode of The Mandalorian.
Yeah.
That's what it was.
Yeah, it was.
Yeah. So, yeah, I'm happy to put it between a B and a C.
But we'll have a final point by the end, so let us know what you guys think. Oh! Dear me.
You guys can influence things, so let us know if it needs to be nudged. Next up, we got Mandalorian Season 3, which you probably can't talk too much about.
I can't.
There were some really fun episodes. I really liked the droid-focused one. The Bo-Katan stuff and the
Let me give you a spoiler-filled minute as well. Let me give you a solid minute of just full spoilers.
Oh, okay.
I don't know. It's good to have that. There.
The Moff Gideon final boss fight was cool. I liked his new flying armor. There was a lot of aspects to Season 3 I enjoyed. Overall, it was worse than Season 2 and Season 1. I'm very happy to slot it in at a B or a C, honestly, because it wasn't as good as the previous seasons by any stretch of the imagination. However, there's a lot of fun here. I like the droid episode. A lot of people didn't like that. Jack Black shows up in that, as does some black lady singer. I can't remember, who's got a fame for having a big ass. Whatever. She was all right. I didn't mind her. I had no idea who she is. I can't remember her name right now, honestly. And also Christopher Lloyd was in that episode. So there was a lot of good in this one, but honestly, on average, it's just not as good as previous seasons. So I'm going to slot it in, honestly, right about...
Can I come back yet, Stuart? So where do you think, Stuart, given you got the worst reviews out of the 3 seasons by an absolute mile, where would you put it?
I already slotted it. Check it out.
Okay.
Ray Ricks. Oh, heard that one. Never mind. Lizzo. That's the bitch. That's her name. Yeah.
Oh, yeah, she's the lady. Jack Black and Lizzo. I knew it was the lady who's famous, but I didn't know who she is.
And Christopher Lloyd's in that episode, too.
Yeah. It's funny. I can't wait to see those people act, who are all great actors. Well,
that's a fun episode. That one that they're in, I enjoyed it. A lot of people didn't. Yeah, I think when you watch it and you finally see it, you'll know why I enjoyed it. But you'll probably be able to see why other people didn't.
Well, there's probably a slight difference. It's like if you saw the Discovery Klingons for 5 years, you're not going to be hitting the same way we were at the start. I know the season's the worst season, therefore I'll go with no expectations, right? I know that's episode silly. That's fine. I'll go knowing that, right? It won't be hitting the same way.
And we have an underrated character from Star Wars: A New Hope show up.
Ooh.
To kind of help out and save the day. I won't say who, but it's not somebody you would never expect. So
it's not R5 because he was in a previous one. He's in the ladies.
He is
thing in the last season, which was lovely.
But it is R5. You did guess.
Well, it's in season 2. I mean, I was like, you only mentioned a droid. I feel like I've always seen him in season 2.
That's why I didn't say droid. I said somebody.
I know, but I guessed. I was like, see, I know you. No, it was lovely to see him in last season. Season 2, I mean.
Yeah, I'm very happy to put it the same as Book of Boba Fett.
Would you? Now again, I haven't seen that. Would you say, because the Book of Boba Fett, the highs are so high and there's a lot of medium, has Mandalorian season 3 got equal highs, or is it averagely better?
It's averagely better.
Right. Okay.
In my mind, a lot of people would probably disagree, but a lot of people didn't like Book of Boba Fett either. So I think it's at least on the same tier as Book of Boba Fett as far as overall quality for most people.
Yeah. Interesting.
Yeah.
Oh, I get Mandalorian.
Joe Brown says Mandalorian season 3 ranks above Boba Fett by at least 1 rank. I can see that argument too.
Well, I'm glad I get Obi-Wan because I've seen Obi-Wan.
Yeah.
So if I do Obi-Wan, you do Ahsoka, I'll on Andor. Then we'll know things.
I think Brett made a mistake with the Boba Fett tile because it keeps showing up through the pictures.
Ooh.
So I'm gonna have to move this over here.
I assume it's set for maybe above everything else.
Yep, when the pictures are supposed to be.
Hold on. Put it over again. Keep it there. Hold on. I did do it a second ago. Order, bring to front. There you go. Fixed it.
Thank you.
Obi-Wan Kenobi. I mean, I'm staring at an Obi-Wan Kenobi costume because the show inspired me. It's there in that cupboard, right? Very, very expensive costume. Very expensive accessories. Expensive lightsaber. Goddamn, the boot's fucking expensive. Because the first 2 are so freaking good. Seeing Ewan back, he's old or he's not too old. In the 2 parts start, he goes from being a know-nothing to a Jedi man again. It kind of feels right, and the music's great, and the pacing's good, and Darth Vader's in it a bit, and it's interesting, it's fun. And every episode until the last one, it goes lower in quality consistently. It keeps dropping down quality bars. The action's terrible. The person that directed it is not good at action. They should never do action again. It is really, really bad. There's lots of lightsaber logic holes that don't work. Stop stabbing people and not killing them. That's literally the point of the saber in that move, is to kill them, and you didn't do it. Weird. It stinks of rewrites halfway through, even though it wasn't. It was actually shot as intended, which is weird because it feels like massive reshoot took place.
Seriously? Because I was going to say, it does feel like a disjointed one, like Solo.
But it's consistent. I mean, it was changed from a movie to a series script. That obviously would change this pacing, obviously.
Yeah.
But Vader's pretty good in it. CG Vader voice is actually pretty shockingly good. The Emperor's in it. I like his part. Good to see him back again after The Last Jedi. So it's nice to see him back again. I love the flashbacks. The de-aging on Hayden is non-existent, but those sorts of fights are really difficult. I get it, but they're lovely. I wanted more. Would have wanted, because we were all hoping they'd be there, and I managed to avoid spoilers. So it's like, yes, he's there. Should have been throughout, but he's obviously in Ahsoka, so that makes up for that. I do know that. It's fine. That's where that will get points. Lightsaber fights are not great in this, but they're also older people. I get it. The fact that they use real blades meant the lighting in this one in particular, in the nighttime quarry, looks like a shitty fan film. It's shockingly bad looking because they were locked in. This is why I like it in post. You can fix everything else, and that weird. But Vader's massacring people on the street is great. Side characters are pretty good. But there's lots of other stupid things, plot points that just are weird. But I do like the final fight in the other area where he goes full Super Saiyan and Anakin comes out. Those are great. There's so many great epic moments when it's Ewan and Hayden. When those are either together or separate, it's great. But they wanted to make Obi-Wan about the other Inquisitor lady who's only okay. Leia's great, but silly, she's a kid, it's fine. There's so many padded bad choices in this that don't add to it, that take away from it. That the point of the show, Obi-Wan, Anakin, Leia, great. It's the other stuff that makes it worse, and some logic holes. So it's a show that, as they got worse, episode, and then back up at the end. Weird.
Yep, I agree. This is one that benefit from being a movie.
So 100%. Much.
Yeah. Reva, I didn't mind the character of Reva. A lot of people hated her.
But she's only okay,
Yeah, she could have been better. But it was interesting that she was one of the younglings in the Jedi Temple.
That was great. That was a great twist.
We got the Vader starship grab, which I love, which I think should have been at the end of Rogue One.
Yeah.
Where he, as it's taking off, he, pulls it down. I thought that was fantastic. The introduction of Leia, young Leia, was a shock to me.
I think she's lovely.
I do too. I don't think it was needed, and I don't think it makes sense continuity-wise. It's not a big deal, but it would make sense why in Star Wars she's like, help me, Obi-Wan Kenobi, my only hope.
Yeah. And it's nice not to be Luke, because you've had enough Luke stories in that context. That works well.
Yeah. But yeah, seeing her was kind of interesting in life on Coruscant. Or not Coruscant, Alderaan.
Beautiful city. And, lovely to see.
And surprise, Qui-Gon Jinn shows up at the end.
Oh, yeah.
I did not expect that, but that was a beautiful... As you said, it started out really strong, dipped in the middle because it became a series and it had to kill time, and then picked up at the end. Make this a movie, not a series, and you would have been much, much better. And the flashback scene with Anakin, again, didn't expect that. Nice. I did enjoy the battle between Obi-Wan and Vader with the fire and stuff.
Vicious.
It was quite visually interesting, and something. Again, I didn't expect to see Vader pulling people through the streets, just making him so menacing. So there's a lot of interesting, fun moments and good moments, but it's dragged down by a lot of in the middle.
Well, this is why there's a chap who is doing a re-edit. He's actually an industry professional. It's a movie length, and he's redoing CG stuff in it to improve it. Yes. And his trailer is astounding. Something is...
And so many mistakes as well, sizing issues with the snow speeder. The speeder shows up, and everybody can fit inside of it. What the hell?
And also, they can't get a hyperspace.
Yeah, that whole hangar sequence is just god awful. Him sneaking Leia under his coat. I mean, it's parody levels of stupid.
Yep.
So a lot of that could just be cut right out, honestly.
It's a very mixed show.
Yeah.
It's a very, very mixed show. Oh, Junkman. Reader's comment.
I was reading it. Did they really put Rise of Skywalker over Last Jedi? At least Jedi made sense. Did it, though? It didn't. It treated the legacy characters like absolute garbage. Made even the new characters like Poe look like an idiot because Holdo was not telling him the plan, and there's the Cantabite. There's just so much in it that's wrong that it has to be lower than the Rise of Skywalker.
Junkman, it makes sense that Finn and Rose would release some chicken horses just to get captured again the same day and spend... That's a priority in there. Our fleet are all getting murdered right now. The end of the rebellion. Let's free some horse chickens. That's a use of our time. You'd never do that in any situation. You would never do it. The fuel makes no sense. Holdo maneuver makes no sense. It breaks all of Star Wars logic forever and ever.
We had this discussion yesterday.
I know we did. Yeah. But there's so many structural broken concepts in that, and it's offensive to Star Wars fans. At least Rise of Skywalker is shitty fun.
See, some people absolutely love The Last Jedi because Rian Johnson was trying to do something different. He was trying to make a statement, as they say, as an argument. Rian Johnson was just being selfish, in my opinion, and didn't treat the legacy characters as he should have. So
just misunderstood Luke.
It's an outlier of a movie, unfortunately, in all of them, and as a result, it's at the bottom. Sorry if you liked it, and I know you love it, Junkman. I know you do, but
let us know why.
And as Samuel said yesterday when we started talking about it, he said it's very decisive. It's 50-50. People either love the movie or they despise it.
Super 50-50.
It's very polarizing.
It's very strange. And there's a great interview of Johnson when he was like 21 where he said, when I make movies, I want 50% to love it, 50% to hate it, because they know you've made a good conversation. It's like, but with a franchise this big, those two sides become the spectrum of hate and despise and vitriol versus those sides where if you've got like 10,000 people watching it, if you've got 100 million, it's like, oh my goodness. Anyway, Obi-Wan. It's such a weird show. Like I said, I literally started a Star Wars fan film journey because the first 2 episodes, the night of the first 2 I binge watched, I put emails out to get the costume. I started investing money. That's how good they made me feel about this. And by then I'm like, oh, did I just do that? Because I'd already, everything's already bought by the end of the season. I was like, oh, I've been so deflated by the season that my excitement to make the show that I was doing was a bit weird. I'd love to see the movie edit. Just that, I think, would be so excellent. I mean, I think it's better than Boba Fett because I like Hayden and Ewan more than Boba. But then, obviously, Boba Fett has the one Luke scene, but that's a CG Luke, and it is a CG Luke versus real Hayden. Yeah. And the Hayden scene is excellent, where he slashes Vader helmet. Wonderful. So where do we put... I can't see the score chart anymore. You can make that smaller.
I want to talk to Junkman for just 1 second.
Okay.
He says that he didn't say it wasn't dumb at times, but it's not Rise of Skywalker awful. But Rise of Skywalker had more love for the franchise, more trying to correct things that should have been done properly, and it got a D. It's still not a good score. So it's not like we love it a lot more. It's still stupid. It
was a broken film. I mean, Hyper says jumping at the start, etc.
Yeah, so I just want to clarify that. So I'm happy to put Obi-Wan, I want to say as a D, but maybe a D plus.
I want to give it higher than Boba Fett though.
Oh, no.
Because I enjoyed it more as a season.
Consistently, it wasn't as good though.
Consistently, Boba Fett was more boring.
In your opinion?
Yes.
Okay.
And again, the Mandalorian episodes are not Boba Fett. They are literally, but that's not at least they were all Obi-Wan episodes. I'm
happy to go between a B and a C then, because it's not better than Book of Boba Fett. It's equal, in my opinion.
Well, I mean, equal, different. Differently good, differently bad. Well, that's the question, though. Compare it to Solo, then, because Solo is not that memorable in a lot of ways, but there's less bad in it, probably. How's it about a Phantom Menace, then? Because that's an interesting equation.
I'd much rather watch Obi-Wan Kenobi.
But quality-wise, because Phantom Menace is better constructed because it's a movie, right? Everything's kind of crafted well, and put it at C.
I'm happy to do C.
Yeah, B does feel gross, but I just I think in overall, but I was inspired by it, right? That's a memory I have. I did feel like catharsis of these characters, which is nice.
Yeah.
Just a disappointment.
Yeah, I think it ranks the same as Solo, honestly. So yeah, that's fair.
And I hope they get a second series and they don't have the same people making it. They just give it to the Ahsoka team and either the Andor or the Ahsoka, because both those are presumably better productions who had more strengths. It's just weird. You have this one chance to bring it back, do a second season to kind of show you can do it better. Even if you have to half as many episodes to have a more concise, pacey story, and for goodness' sake, focus on Obi-Wan primarily. That's the reason people signed up. Jesus.
Yeah.
All right, Stuart, you can handle Ahsoka because I have not seen Ahsoka. I feel so weighted by the need to research based on Rebels and rewatch that. That's literally what stopped me.
You don't need to do that.
I've heard from so many people that the moments don't hit because they haven't seen Rebels enough to get it.
Watch a YouTube video that's half an hour long, summing up Rebels, and then you'll be fine.
That's fair. It's just weird. So how do you sum up in a non-spoiler way?
Fun series for me. Sure, it had some boring moments. It had some interesting acting from Rosario Dawson, but we got some fantastic cameo appearances. I don't know what I can say with you here. Baylan, like the new character Baylan's awesome, but unfortunately the actor died, so I'm not sure how they're going to continue that story. His apprentice, his Padawan, was also very, very good character. The return of the lady from Mandalorian season 2, I cannot remember her name for the life of me right now.
Assassin lady.
Yeah.
Samurai assassin lady.
You might want to unclick off the picture.
Yeah.
So some fantastic things as well, like galaxy hopping hyperspace lanes, the Purgles, which are the space whales, which was cool to see and learn about them a little bit.
You've already put in a place. I just noticed.
Put what in?
Oh no, it's because the logo is so perfectly placed where we in a zone, but it's not. It's the side of the. Sorry, ignore me.
Thrawn was amazing, I thought.
Now you can spoil. Now I'm gone.
His Star Destroyer being all mangled, his stormtroopers being essentially battle damaged and fixed with the gold. I love that, actually. And the zombified ones after they died because of the witches. There's a lot that I really enjoyed with this. There were a few moments that dragged a little bit for me and felt a little stupid, but overall I thought Ahsoka was a good ride and really fun. I loved the droid voiced by David Tennant. I cannot remember anybody's name today for some reason. C-3PO, of course, makes a return, and there's just a lot of fun stuff in here. Again, I think it was really well done as a whole season. I think it was good, and it definitely kind of the world between worlds was great. Anakin returning was great. The Clone Wars, like, there's a lot to like here. Much more to like than to dislike, in my opinion. So I'm going to give it a pretty high ranking. I know a lot of people hated it, but I really don't care what a lot of people think. As far as me, I really enjoyed it, and there wasn't very many downsides to me. So I did first reaction reviews of all of them. So if you want my thoughts on it, by all means, go check that out. But it's better than people say, and I know a lot of people out there absolutely hate it. I know that Junkman absolutely hates Ahsoka, but do I care? No, I don't, because it's an enjoyable piece of show to watch, in my opinion. It's good entertainment. And yeah, there were some spots that hit a little bit of turbulence, had a little bit of problem. But overall, I love the idea of going to another galaxy, to being stranded on this planet, to bring in the characters from Rebels. I don't feel like not watching Rebels is a barrier to watching this. I can understand if you haven't watched Rebels that you wouldn't enjoy this as much. I didn't watch Rebels. I watched parts of Rebels, and then I watched a video where they broke it down in 30 minutes, and it explains everything that you need to know. perfect. I will go back and watch Rebels, absolutely. I just haven't done so yet. So I absolutely do love this show. Well, I like this show. I wouldn't say I love it. And I'm hoping for season 2, hopefully find a way to fix the Balin issue. And I'm really excited to see where it goes from here. So that's my take on it. As far as ranking goes, I would give this a strong B. It'll go in the B slot. So there we go. And now Sam can come back, but he doesn't know that because he can't hear the conversation. If I can hate Ahsoka, you can hate Last Jedi. Exactly. Downside was stupid lightsaber mechanics, but I liked Ahsoka. I like Ahsoka folded her arms in every scene. Well, in the picture we used as well. That was what I was referring to with Rosario Dawson's acting choices. Don't necessarily agree with them, but I think it suits the character to a certain degree. This jaded, more older Ahsoka. I wish she was more like Snips from Clone Wars, where she's a little bit more lively and stuff. But you can come back.
There he is. It's Stuart.
Yeah. So there we go. Give it a B.
Ah. And I finished the last poll.
I can't wait for you to see it because I want to talk to you about it.
Yeah, I get to binge it and have fun. Probably my Christmas present to myself. But I asked, do our rankings of the movies look good? 73% say yes. 26 said no. I read the new poll, Stuart, because it's a bit funny.
Which do you prefer? Obi-Wan TV show, Book of Boba Fett TV show, or The Last Jedi? Really, though. We'll have one vote for The Last Jedi.
We'll see.
Least.
Okay, so clarifying question then. Again,
sure.
About the spoilers. B minus standard or plus? Which?
Minus.
Okay. How close to the line of the C is it? In your opinion?
Not very close.
Okay.
There's so much to love.
Okay. Is it one? I've had this discussion with all the shows here. Is it more averagely good, or some highs, some big lows, or some medium highs and some medium lows?
I'd say some fantastic highs.
Yeah.
But as a whole, it's all average.
Okay. Basically, Anakin stuff brings it up.
That and a few other small little things that I'm not going to mention to you.
Good. I just know the Anakin stuff, which makes me very, very happy.
Yeah.
So happy. He had to be, though.
There's probably more Anakin stuff than you know, too. So.
Yes. Excellent. Good. Better de-aging as well. Not amazing, because he's very shiny, but much better de-aging.
Yeah.
Because it's funny. He looks the same, but wrinklier. Like, that's the interesting about him aging. So that's actually the aging you can change. He hasn't got fatter, hasn't got whatever. Just yeah, it's interesting. Hayden.
Oh yeah.
The same but wrinklier, and that's stuff you can digitally change. Versus like, wow, he put on 20 pounds, or he's it's like Zac Efron. He as he's getting older, he's getting just thicker. There's just a thickness to him. There isn't, whereas the youthful thin is whatever. Okay, super interesting. And hey, this is interesting. The first 2 TV show seasons hit the bar. Everything else is middle of the road. That's interesting. That's a hell of a jump down.
Yep.
Wow. I wonder if it's season 1 they were just left to do their own thing. It's like, we got the movies, it's fine. Star Wars is dead, you just do your own thing. And now there's this big franchise feel to it. Because I feel like a lot of focus issues there in Boba Fett and Kenobi season 1. Focus. It's not what it should. It's not the singular thing it could be. Mandalorian season 1 really focused. Mm-hmm. This character doing this journey, cool. Interesting.
So it's time for Andor.
Which I have seen.
Sam's gonna jump on.
I feel like I haven't seen the last episode because there's a thing Trekyardsy, so I've seen everything apart from the last 1, maybe 2, but I've seen almost all of it. I mean, I really enjoy Andor. It's a lot less Star Wars, a lot more good TV show. Which is weird, but also it's a well-framed TV show that obviously it's fighting the Empire. it's hard. It's a different sort of balance. I don't think he's the best lead, but he's fine. He's decent. He's better in this than Rogue One, I think. But
he's better than he was in Rogue One, yeah.
But he's fine. Like he's growing. The fact he got two seasons of 6, it's just one season really, but that means he's going to evolve. So I like that. It's quite creative, and the fact that they use real sets, not the LED wall, it stands out a lot better as a better production value. A lot of sets, a lot of costumes, a lot of props, a lot of locations. It feels way more big. Even to see the shitty Coruscant underbits that are meant to look grey and horrible, that's interesting. It's his mum and being poorly treated and stuff. Like it's interesting. And you see the Empire with the bureaucracy is interesting. The evilness of bureaucracy. I like.
Can you fix the Boba Fett thing again?
Yeah.
I don't know why that keeps happening.
I like my Mothma story. It's sort of dull, but that's sort of the point. But it's interesting to see her character be given really something, really, and feel the tension of them. Everything is against them. They've been fighting this in the shadows for years, and it's getting harder and harder. And this, and then the doing the. I like the heist. I think it's quite interesting. Although sitting in a Scottish Highland for 6 months is a weird plot point, but hey ho. I quite like the episode where they're building parts in the factory and they escape. I thought that's actually really quite interesting. It felt big, even though it's.
Do you know what they're for?
Yeah. Oh god, what was it? Yes. They do say. It's Death Star laser pieces, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I haven't seen the last episode, so I wasn't sure.
Yeah. No, they do say it right there. I like. It's a silly thing to like, but I like the fact that he bumps into his friend robot, just not quite, on a beach of a happy planet, but because they're all, you never get to see police stormtroopers being dicks, and so put him in jail for doing nothing, and then jail ends up being this hyper bad jail where you're going to die. Like, to see the politics of the galaxy was super interesting, if also kind of dull. It's a really interesting hybrid sort of show. What do you think? It's an odd show.
I loved Andor. I thought the first 3 episodes were a little slow for me to get into. After that, it kicked off. It's very much a World War II resistance kind of movie, and I really enjoy those. It's based on real life stories, basically, so I think it works really well in that aspect. There is enough Star Wars in it for me. I think the Cassian Andor does a much better job in this than he did in Rogue One. I like the character a lot more now. As a result.
Yeah, improves Rogue One for sure.
Yeah, and I'm looking forward to seeing season 2. It's great to get to actually understand why people hate the Empire.
Yep.
You watch the movies and you're like, yeah, the Empire, okay, it's a bad thing, right? But to be put in jail for that and to have such strict restrictions while in prison and then be slave labor, like forced slave labor for the smallest thing, it makes you hate them even more, and you understand why the resistance came about, why all this is happening. And I think the characters in this are really well done. They don't all survive. I mean, that's kind of the point. Like I said, World War II, don't start liking anybody because they're not going to make it, chances are. And we know Andor's fate as well. So that's also an interesting aspect of this. But like I said, the first 3 episodes really kind of slogged for me. After that, it kicked off, and I really enjoyed it. This is one I haven't gone back to rewatch yet. I watched The Mandalorian. I watched Boba Fett more than once. I've only seen Ahsoka and Andor once each. Same with Obi-Wan. I need to go back and rewatch all those again. But I think I'll enjoy the first 3 episodes much more on the second watch.
Yeah, I think so.
But I like the dark, gritty aspect of it. The down in the dirt kind of just doing what they got to do to survive, and the heist elements of it. Like, there's a lot that I really enjoy.
Well, it's also, it felt as if they had a 2-season plan that was already written. They had character beats to get to. It might be slightly slower to get to, but you sense, there's a plan here. I'm going A to B to C. Oh, that makes sense. There's a real TV show structure in there. Seeing him do his first kill and then seeing where he came from and then seeing, there's such an evolution, so that you are more invested in it the further you go. And season 2 can do anything. I'm assuming it'll be bigger and broader. And I believe they're doing stuff with the Rogue One characters a bit more, which makes sense. If this season 1 is its own thing, he's just some guy, then season 2 build him into the character we know and love. So I would expect to see Soul. No, Soul Grower is in this, isn't he? He's he's in this because he have to be. He's not dead yet. I expect to see, obviously. I mean, I'm sure K2SO is going to be huge in season 2 because that's the story you want to see. Really, how do they become? That's That'd what be great. Mon Mothma, obviously she'll leave Coruscant, be rebellion-y. I mean that's interesting to see how it all comes together. I would like to expect to see, something R2D2 and C3POE. That'd be kind of nice. What are they doing in between?
I'm thinking A for Andor.
Because it's so strange. I don't know if there are any oh my god highs. Because seeing
Luke,
in
the Star Wars aspect of things.
Yes, because seeing Luke many times and having the Vader and Obi-Wan fight, those are all like epic moments of cinema. This doesn't have any of those.
Epic Star Wars moments. This, from a storytelling perspective, has some very good highs. Like I said, it's like based on the World War II kind of stories. I think those are really hit home for people and are very enjoyable to watch. So as a cinematic storytelling writing aspect, I think this is top notch. Star Wars highs, not so much. I mean, maybe the last scene of the last episode would be a great Star Wars high.
Excited for that scene. But I still think Luke showing up as an epic cinema moment because of the build-up and whatever. I do think the TIE fighter, the freighter going through the explosion field is a great moment. That's a nice there are moments, but I'm not excited by Andor. I'm excited by parts of everything else in S. I'm not excited by anything in Andor, but I know it's really good. So A I think is very apt because I think the overall average is higher.
Apt also starts with an A. Just saying.
So I think the average quality, and it's different format, is higher than Return of the Jedi.
Yes.
In a very general sense. But the highs are much higher in Return of the Jedi. Revenge of the Sith, I think, because of the emotional weight of the franchise and the legacy and the fact they achieved all that. I mean, Andor was gritty and real. They went and built a little town and they shot in it. Cool. There's a 26-minute fight on a volcano that didn't happen. It looks incredible, right? Like, technically and ambition and I don't know, I'm still fighting, we both get an A. But, no. But that's what Season 2 could be, right? This is not... Season 2 might be the S. They've got a hell of a baseline because you're not going to get those boring slogs in Season 2 because you've built up to it. Season 2 could very well be S tier.
Yeah, I would imagine it would be, honestly, from the lessons they've learned.
Oh, God, see,
shows as well.
Oh, I've only they hadn't already said we're not going to bring back young Leia, like Leia appropriate. Because imagine putting Leia at Andor and then meeting and again see her early rebellion. Oof. I guess
they could still do that, but if they said they're not going to, they never lie. So.
But that is a few years. I guess you could argue that you could hire a teen Carrie Fisher lookalike vibe and you could get away with it just. It's still 4 or 5 years before, maybe.
Yeah.
Because I would like to see that. Let's see her being active. When is Andor set?
Yeah. Well, there you go. That's all of the live action shows.
What do people think about our
Ray Ricks throws in £5. Spaceballs S tier. Use the Schwartz. And we should have had Spaceball in here. But Sam hasn't seen that yet, so.
No. Okay, so Andor takes place in 5 BBY to 1 minus 1 BBY. That's a hell of a leap. Okay.
Years, yeah.
I mean, the show does not take place at that time in the first season, so I guess they know stuff we don't know. And Jedi... Oh, it's 0. Battle of Yavin is 0, so 5 years before, because that's Yavin. Yeah. 0. Okay, so no, she should look the same. She's not going to look different 4 years before. That's silly.
Yeah.
Okay, guys, what do you think? And this is the negotiable time. Do any of you want to super chat you feel passionate enough about Season 2 Mandalorian or Book of Boba Fett or Rogue One, or Ahsoka, or Obi-Wan, or Rise of Skywalker, or Last Jedi, to change where they go? That's my question to you all.
Yeah. Convince us.
If you're open to be convinced.
Yes.
Well, what does this tell us about Star Wars from this list?
Make your Star Wars like Star Wars and you got S tier? I don't know. Means Disney's not as bad as everybody says it is. Oh no, Disney got Star Wars and it went to shit. No, not really. It's average. It's highs and lows. So,
but it also speaks that you don't need Jedi mumbo jumbo, because Mandalorian 1 and 2 are Jedi, they're not led by Jedi, right? So you can have Andor, right? These are non-Jedi shows, but they are on the top tier. So the universe is still functionally interesting.
Yeah.
And it shows you that even a Jedi show, Obi-Wan, can have so many problems that it lowers it.
Yes.
But also, unnecessary prequels with some bad story points aren't good. Then, don't, unless they're cleverer. And straight TV movies, rethink.
For the straight to TV movies?
Rethink, yeah. As in them back then. Don't do them, is what I'm saying. They weren't very good.
Wow. They're just trying to capitalize on things between the movies and to keep the hype up for toy sales and things. So, again, Caravan of Courage and Battle of Endor could have been much better. They weren't very Star Warsy. They were very much directed at kids. And I enjoy them for what they are, but the lower budgets definitely show in the special effects. That's 100% accurate. The holiday special was just a total stumble, fall in your face mistake. But it was fresh off the heels of Star Wars, so they were using that momentum they had to, again, people keep it in the public zeitgeist, And as you said, it was meant to air once, and that's it. Hopefully, no one would record it.
You could
record it at the time.
Well, no.
But there are copies of it. It's on YouTube. Go check it out.
So I think one of the main copies existed was a person that worked at a TV station, so they had an actual. They had a copy because they worked where the copies were. People couldn't make copies, but obviously their copies existed.
Some people could, but there was very, very few that had technology. Yeah.
And obviously you had to be there then, that day, that moment, etc. I'd be interested to see how I might influence this list for Mandalorian 3 and Ahsoka. I wonder if I would. Do you think I would like it more than you and put as an A for Ahsoka?
I think you'd bump them both up, probably. Yeah.
So Ahsoka to an A and Mando.
I don't know if you give Ahsoka an A. Well, actually, you might.
Okay, interesting. And then Mando 3, you think I would go B without question? Same as Rogue One?
No, well, actually, I think you'd probably keep it where it is. I don't know. I don't know how you're going to take Mandalorian Season 3. Okay. The fact that, just from my memory, my recollection... anyway, that I can't remember all the goddamn episodes or whatever... All the things that happened in Season 3 says a lot to me.
Yep.
Because I love The Mandalorian, and I didn't find Season 3 as bad as everybody else. But...
I mean, do you want to lower it to C just for safety?
Yeah. It's still The Mandalorian. It's still got
absolutely
the basis that is both first two seasons, which are S tier. So that's why I bumped it up, right?
Yes. Now I also want to sort of vaguely knowing. Also, I was you couldn't help but hear what people were saying online. How do you feel the show has been said? It's not about the Mandalorian man called Mandalorian. It's about the Mandalorian species, meaning Bo-Katan can be the lead character of season 4. That's all good because she was kind of the lead character of season 3. How do you feel about that?
I kind of hate that. I love Din Djarin. I love the character. That's what I'm signed on for. Bo-Katan's fine and all, but to maintain the name of the show because of that, it makes sense. It's a good, logical idea. I just don't know how I feel about it. I'll still watch it, obviously, because I'm invested with Bo-Katan, and Katie Sackhoff does a good job. So,
yeah, I'm not natively against the Mandalorian being by any Mandalorian, but it's definitely a red herring sell. You sold us on something at the start. It's like calling it Stargate Atlantis, then moving to the Brian colony. It's like, no, it's called Atlantis. You stay on Atlantis. You don't change the main prince. Like Obi-Wan not being about Obi-Wan for a good chunk of it. That's a problem, But the Mandalorian, it could be any Mandalorian, but it's... Katie Sackhoff is wonderful casting at anything, right? She's lovely. The fact they brought her back from the animated is a love letter to the fans, but of course, them the ones making it made those shows. I don't mind if she's the main lead, just has to be good, right? Has to be good stories. Yeah. And then you got to remove Grogu entirely because he's not in the Mandalorian plot really. If you're really doing a Darksaber story with Bo-Katan, then that's fine, but you should take out Din and Grogu almost entirely because that's what season 1 and season 2 are about. Not season 3, them just recycling because they've had too much growth in theory. That's just
Joe Brown says, I don't agree with Mando season 3 being on the same level as Obi. And now that you've said that, I kind of agree with you. I think it was probably better where it was. I'd watch Mandalorian season 3 over Solo as well. And over episode 1. Fuck. I'm going to move it back up between B and C. Sorry. Now that it's contextualized like that for me.
So it's unmemorable, but you'd rather watch the unmemorable than the more memorably less good.
There's still a lot of memorable moments in season 3. And there's an episode I love that's basically focused on droids and droid culture.
Ah, yes. That will bias you for sure.
Yeah.
Like I like de-aging, right? Throw a good de-age and I'll like all over it.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Ray Ricks, though, throws in 10 pounds. Last Jedi firmly deserves F. That's where it is. Evidence of what happens when there is no overarching plan and one person is given too much leeway. Disrespect Luke and damn Space Mary Poppins. I mean, so bad. Yeah, that's why it's at F. I don't know. Thank you for reinforcing our belief that it should stay there.
But also, it's funny because, of course, if we hadn't have had Last Jedi ruining Luke forever, because it's canon, right? Like he betrayed the galaxy for 15 years. He cowered his way to death. Without that, Boba Fett, him coming back in triumph, wouldn't have been as epic. But Last Jedi is still canon. It's still broken him forever. He'll never be fixed because that's the coward he is. But it's cool. It can be good.
Martin, do you not have eyes? Martin says, Andor is S tier. It is miles better written, acted, directed, and produced. It also looks way better than all the other shows. It is above all the other shows except for Mandalorian, which is superior. So it is above all the other shows. I'm just saying.
I mean, it's probably better written than season 2 of Mandalorian because it's a bit less even for me, but the highs are still higher. That's what we that's why you're looking at the highs and also excitement value.
I'd be fine to move Andor between an A and an S because a lot of people are saying Andor should be S as well, but it's an A plus at least for sure.
I'd rather watch episode 3 than Andor because it's shorter. But it's a movie again. It's hard to compare, right? I'd rather watch the good. I'd rather watch the good parts of Return of the Jedi than Andor, but that's even a shorter movie. I'm not really like. I'm not going to sit down and watch Andor necessarily for pleasure because it's very long. It's not a fun. I'm committing to rewatch it because legacy. I'm not going to get out of my way to watch it for fun. It's a one watch, enjoy it, new thing. And that's important as well. I would rewatch Mandalorian season 1 for fun. Season 2, I would be on my phone for some of it, but I would be invested for some of it.
I agree. I'd rather watch Return of the Jedi and episode 3 over Andor. Because, like I said, the first 3 episodes were really slog for me. And it's dark, dirty, and gritty, and not super exciting to... not that super exciting. And it's not super uplifting to watch. It's kind of dour and depressing. So I think A is perfect. I think A plus... A plus is kind of where I rank it. So,
and I haven't seen the last episode, so that might be the best episode, right? I can't say that. I'm without that. Martin says, had Luke not been the last episode, Mando season, you wouldn't rank it as high. No, of course not. Had they also not betrayed Luke's character in Last Jedi, it would be higher as well. I mean,
it's Star Wars. It's about the.
I mean, let's be honest. If Rogue One didn't have Vader in his epic hallway fight, that might have been a C. Potentially. it's one of those most epic moments. You know, if Boba Fett hadn't had the Mandalorian episode, it would be definitely a C or lower. Boba Fett might be a D if it hadn't the Mandalorian episodes. Maybe.
These scorings might be totally different. We're just basing it on movies. But we're taking in, these are Star Wars movies, so the Star Wars elements in each of them are important and matter. Like I said, Andor is top-notch storytelling. Could easily get an S in a different list for like streaming shows or something. But when it comes to Star Wars, it's a little bit lower for me.
What's the overall factor? Hey, David.
Yes.
Yeah, the overall. And I mean, to call it A and, you know, oh no, it should be A is very good. I mean, you're putting up, you know, the weakest of the originals and the best of the prequels, both of which had a really big budget.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's annoying because I feel like if you re-edited Obi-Wan down, it could be a B or an A.
Like I said, Obi-Wan should have been a movie and Rogue One should have been a series. They would have been higher on the rankings, I think.
And do you know what? Boba Fett, if that had been a movie as well, condense it down to really the hardcore shit. Get
rid of a lot of the Pike Syndicate element.
Just streamline it, right? Take out all the stuff that looks, because often if they put them in a dramatic situation and then remove it for a silly reason, it lets the season down because they need constant build-up pace, build-up lowering. If you don't need that, you can just, you know, go to a point.
I was waiting for the Boba Fett episode of Ahsoka, honestly.
Yeah. No, well, Mandalorian, especially season 3. For I think people are saying, when's the Boba going to show up and just take over an episode?
He should have.
Because that would have made sense. Weirdly enough, that makes sense. Tradesies, you know.
Yeah.
Did Mando not show up in Ahsoka then?
No.
Well,
but there's a particular scene that I think happens exactly parallel with the exact moment in Mandalorian.
Oh!
Which after you see it, we'll talk about.
Well, that's exciting.
Yeah.
That excites me. But guys, is there anything you would like us to change via Super Chat? Power of the Super Chat. This is your dramatic power.
Let us know now or forever hold your peace.
Martin, everyone has some shockingly bad action sequences and looks low budget as it was. Yeah. But had some great character moments, some great legacy moments that, you know, utilize the entire 40 years of the canon, both retroactively and forward actively. You know, like weirdly seeing Bail Organa turn up at Obi-Wan's house is really satisfying. You know, these Goliaths of legacy potential characters, like, dude, you suck. And oddly, you know, see we'll get bored about killing a space whale or whatever. It's kind of cool. You know, the pace is fun. Again, the first two are really good.
Yeah.
And he like non-lightsaber punches his way at some point. He's like, well, I need to. I can't lightsaber, and I can lightsaber. Yeah, I think it's a pretty.
I'm very happy with the ranking right now. So, but if anybody like, there's some that could be bumped. if you guys are passionate enough.
Because, I mean, that's the whole point of it being midway. Boba still is so much trash in that. I'm like, should it be C? But then the Mandalorian episodes are good. So it's being pulled up entirely by those episodes, pretty much.
Yeah.
And the Tusken stuff I like.
And Martin's right. Ahsoka was good. Baylan was a really fantastic take on a former Jedi. Yeah, Baylan was a fantastic character. I'm so sad that the actor passed away. Are they going to recast him? Are they going to write him out? Because his story is so, like, it's the crux of a lot of the season. So, and Eric Martin, $5. Misa agrees with you, as Jar Jar would say. Thank you, Eric. This is the way.
But I do want to see Obi-Wan 2. Learn from the mistakes. Do that. Ahsoka 2, obviously, because you want to. You know, I'm sure there'll be Ahsoka 2.
Yeah.
Andor 2 is coming, obviously.
Yep.
But are they running out of the Star Wars property? Like, have they got anything else commissioned?
I don't know, probably.
Because they had the Warriors of the Republic, and then the thing with the lady from Mandalorian that got cancelled. Then
Acolyte is supposed to be coming out.
Yeah, Acolyte. Yeah, something about something. Don't know.
Another reason I just want to say that Mandalorian season 1 and 2 are right where they are, it's S tier, is because they added so much to the public zeitgeist. This is the way. Everybody says it. I have spoken. Baby Grogu everywhere on everything. I mean, I should have had it earlier, and it was actually new, because they didn't have Baby Grogu stuff in time for Christmas that year.
It was the pandemic year, though, I believe. So
yeah, but still, I mean, they could have made a killing more than they. Now they've oversaturated the market with Grogu stuff. Is what I'm saying.
I saw a perfume with Marie in a low end store that was green with like the glass and there's a little sort of half face on the top, and it's like, I don't want to pull off Grogu's head to pour a perfume. It just no, it's very strange.
Yeah. Go vote on the poll, guys. 22 votes. We have 28 people here. 34 likes is pretty good. But hit that like button. Let's try to get up to close to 50. Had a lower viewership for this one, so yeah.
Yeah. We'd love another $6. Would be great. That would help average us out a little bit. Because we're running right to the end of the month. So a few fives would be super and duper.
And chats. Super.
Yeah. But you know, I'll always be thankful to Obi-Wan for starting me on my Star Wars journey, because that ended up being quite elaborate in its own way and some very fun ideas, and I had to learn deep faking for it, like proper deep faking, which is that's a whole thing. Nice. Seeing Emma in her makeup and her wig is very fun. You know, it's so confusing when she pulls off the red wig. It's like, I've known you for 10 hours of you this good looking. Why you have this white head? Sure, you look so different. It's very weird. Suits it really well. It was fun. It's really fun to write Star Wars. It's so different. You can be kind of cheesy, because I was trying to hone a bit of the prequel bullshit style, like a little bit, right?
George Lucas's dialogue,
like a little bit, yeah.
Like Carrie Fisher says, you can write this stuff, you just can't say it.
Because it's like when I wrote Dad's TOS film, I add a little bit of 60s something. I try to just a little bit of extra TOS-ness, and so I liked having that little bit of politics, a little bit of Jedi bullshit going on. Yeah. That's part of Star Wars, right? That's part of the fun stuff.
And Dave Thompson says, can't super chat. Well, you can send a PayPal if you want to Trekyards at hotmail.com. That's another way to help us out. Unless you just, because some people can't super chat because their bank won't let them, or their phone isn't letting them because they haven't restarted their phones. If that's the reason, you can send a PayPal. But if you just can't because you don't have the cash, that's cool.
We don't either.
We don't want to put anybody out. So
yes.
Life is life. So.
Now, speaking of the next live, I've kind of got my heart set on doing Trek video games.
Oh, Jesus Christ.
I know. Because that, I feel like, could be a fun one.
Could be, but it's going to be a lot of work getting them all together. We're going to inevitably miss some.
Yeah, well, but if we haven't played them, we're not going to say anything anyway, right? We can't rate if we've not spent the hours. So, that's okay, right? Like, how many of the original Interplay touch and click, point and click did you play? They'd made like 6. You know, I played half of one. You know,
I played like probably 3-4 of them.
Yeah, because our final Unity disc had an error. I guess couldn't get past like level 3, and I've still never to this day in the TOS 25th anniversary edition, I've still never worked out how to get past the first room.
I know. Yeah. I rewatched the beginning of Final Unity so many times.
Yeah.
And right now, Retro Badger, he is doing a playthrough of Final Unity. And I'm like, oh, I did make it to this part. So I remember being stuck in this room for fucking ever. Couldn't figure out what to do. Then I'm like, did I get past it? Then he gets to the next stage. I'm like, yep, I recognize that as well. So... Joe Brown, $2. Mando season 3 is a B. I have spoken.
Well, we have set our list down, so that's not very high super chat though for such a.
It's almost at a B.
It's all yeah. I mean, maybe scoot up a little bit and be, you know, just.
Oh, I don't want to have it. Okay, I'll move Rogue One up too.
Yeah, there you go.
Okay, $2 bumped it a little bit.
There you go. Got even closer.
There you go.
Because I feel like...
I mean, I'm torn on season 3 of Mando. I love Mandalorian. I just love the character. I
haven't seen it, so it's kind of...
The world they've created. It's not as good as the first 2. It's just a fact.
There were so many bad reviews, Stuart. Like, so many.
I know, but there's so many bad reviews for stuff that's fantastic.
But not for Mando season 1 and 2, though. That was pretty much universal.
Woke. It's got a woman in it. I don't like it.
Yeah, but I don't. Those reviews I don't care about. I don't listen to that. That's irrelevant. I know what you mean. Those are the city reviews. But why was it getting panned compared to the first 2? Because they're the ones who weren't getting panned in the same way. There's gonna be a reason.
Because Mando was kind of a backstage.
That's a problem
in season 3. No, it focused more on Bo-Katan and stuff, which was still very interesting.
Who I like a lot.
Exactly. So I don't know how you're going to feel about season 3.
We will see. So what do you guys think? Do you want to see a Star Trek video game 1? Because that will also be super interesting. I'm starting to get images now because I'm sure Brett's doing something else. Because it's all very personal, right? That's like, what did you experience in your time with the game?
Don't forget the 25th anniversary special edition, which has the extra bridge disc where you could walk around the TOS bridge.
Oh, could you?
Station. I had that one.
Ooh.
I spent a lot of time on that disc looking around the bridge of the TOS Enterprise.
Was that right from the start of the game, or do you have to actually get to a certain point and unlock it? Because I felt
no, it's a separate disc. It's a higher resolution bridge with interactive consoles and stuff. You can go to each station and look at them. It's really friggin' great. It's kind of like early VR almost, because you can kind of walk around and go to each station. So
it's kind of like Bridge Commander, where you could mod it and then you could press a button and leave your chair, which I showed you once, and you were like, "What?"
Yeah,
that was great. And then you realize where they stopped texturing things. Why has this wall not got anything? Because you're not meant to see it from your angle. Oh, yeah. That's crazy. And do you think you have a video game that you'd be like, that's me. Not so much. Okay.
There's a few that just really stand out to me that I enjoyed enjoyed playing, but there's some newer ones that I absolutely love as well. So I don't know. That'll be a tough one.
And then you played Legacy on 360, on PS, whatever. I played on PC, and those are very different games. They're literally different games. Like the way they handle is just.
I have the PC version as well. I played that too, but I didn't mod it really. So.
Oh yeah, I sometimes did.
It's basically the same as the console.
Well, the controls are different, and then controlling it radically changes how you fight it. And.
Oh, I prefer the controller.
Yeah, I know you do.
The game controller.
It actually pros better in a lot of ways. It's funny. I still remember seeing the first trailer, the box art for that game, thinking these graphics will never be beaten because those ships look incredible. They're shite. If you break it down, they're great textured, but they're really not very good. Really, but they were so good at the time.
For the time, they were great. Yeah.
Yeah. It's funny how
there's so many mods to that now. Like there's this PC Legacy mod that has like hundreds of ships.
I've just said this before, but how do you go from the artistry of perfect ship flying a Bridge Commander to the absolutely inferior version in the other one? It's like, how do you...
Well,
do you just do that again with better graphics?
The PlayStation version is called Star Trek Encounters.
Yes.
It's got a totally different dynamic as far as gameplay goes. Still fun,
yes,
but in a much different way.
Yes.
I really enjoyed that one as well. Although the learning curve for getting the controls is a little bit rough, but once you do it, it's fun.
Yeah, exactly. So I've got a few things I can send out. So have you played New Worlds?
Yes.
Have you played Klingon Academy?
Yes. You played Away Team?
Some.
Okay.
When I was young, I played a lot of them for a little bit, but never all the way through because I rarely finished games anyway, just because they might take a long time. Did you play Invasion on PS?
Yes.
Shattered Universe?
Needed cheat codes for that because it's a Shattered Universe. Yes.
So you played Bridge Crew. Did you play Klingon Honor Guard?
No.
And obviously, Star Trek Academy 1, 2, and 3 you played.
Plus, I had the Chekhov advanced or Chekhov bonus missions as well.
Yeah. Cool. I mean, I've played most.
Did you play Starfleet Command?
First one, yeah, I love the first one.
Starfleet Command Volume 2?
Never had it. Because we get back to me being a child, like if my parents didn't buy it for me on CD store, because there's no Amazon, there's no internet. If we didn't see it, like I'd never seen a disc of 2 or 3 ever in the world ever, in any situation.
2's my favorite. 3 kind of garbage, and there's also one Starfleet Command's Orion Pirates.
Yes,
which is on the heels of number 2, which is almost an improvement on number 2. So,
because it's funny because I remember finding Starfleet Command 1 in the bargain bin of a low-end shop, in like below shitty other games that were like Bugs versus Zombies, like crap. And we're like, oh, it's a Star Trek game I've never seen or played. I took him. It was great. Oh my god! Wow, this isn't a cheap game at all. Because there wasn't those games available.
Ray Ricks, £2. Star Trek Online because I ate 8 hours of my life.
Yeah. That is a whole thing.
I consider that different than a video game. Like it's a open world MMO kind of thing. A video game has a start and has a finish. Star Trek Online.
Well, you can finish the campaign. There is a set story, and you can finish the story.
Yeah.
There's just more you can do after that. Because by that logic, you can't include the bonus disc of 20th anniversary because Walk Around isn't a game. It's an experience.
Yeah. What about Star Trek Shipbuilder?
S tier.
No. And Shipbuilder 2, which seems somehow worse.
It's amazing. Amazing that they were made.
And yes, Gorgonzola. I like Star Trek Away Team, actually.
Yeah.
I played it for a long time. And New Worlds was also great.
Hello. The joke is, at that point, you could have broken discs. You could have corrupt discs. You have scratches. I had 3 different Trek because they were like bargain bin. They were not new when I got them. As in, they were new from the store, but they were old discs in the content. They didn't just come out.
They were new to you.
New to me, yeah. But they were fresh discs. They just weren't new releases. And I had so many broken ones.
And Dan suggested what I suggested yesterday or the day before. Do Star Wars games.
That's a whole thing.
There's a lot of those, and we haven't necessarily each played. We've each played different ones, and it'll be the whole thing.
Yeah, I'd be passionate about my list, but then if you go beyond my list, it's like I haven't played that. I haven't played that. I've seen a bit of that because it's different. You can easily watch a movie. That's the thing. It's very different sort of scale, right? And you know,
yeah.
But also there can be this nice sense of I trust you, Stuart, that you think that game is an S. Good. Because the audience will then trust you and therefore play the game. You know, it's a lesson of learning. It's a learning experience. There you go.
Yeah. Well, we hit the goal that we wanted there.
Super.
38 likes. Let's end the poll.
Oh yes.
Which did you prefer? Well, Obi-Wan and Book of Boba Fett tied with 44%.
I love it.
The Last Jedi is at 12%. So.
Oh. Okay. Do I include for Starter Ships Captain's Chair? It's a CD. I can play it.
Sure.
I play that a lot.
Watch
the clips.
There's also the interactive technical manual.
Oh, is there?
Yeah, I got that too. It comes with a book as well.
Is that the Enterprise D one?
Yep.
Okay, yeah. Crazy. God, Shipbuilders pisses me off, man.
It had so much potential to be cool.
As soon as I see it, I'm just pissed by it.
If you want to compile a list of Star Trek games, I'm happy to do a tier list for that. So.
Yeah.
I find tier lists are much easier and better than top 10 lists.
Well, it's different, you know.
It is different.
And we spent 4 years doing the other ones, so it makes sense that we've done them.
Kyle Swinderman, $2. Star Trek Elite Force 1 and 2, baby. Yep. Those are fantastic games.
Yeah, win-win.
Two not as much as 1, but graphics update, but storyline kind of skeletal compared.
Down date.
Yeah.
Yes. I mean, why don't we make a third one? Guys, make a third one. And it's sad because I named, one of my lead characters temporarily, Captain Monroe. He was like the uncle of, the guy from the game.
And General Grievous says, here's the thing. Andor is a great dystopian spy thriller, but there is nothing about it that specifically says Star Wars. As a Star Wars story, it's quite frankly boring. Nothing happens until the last episode. Yeah, that's why that's why it's at 8 here and not S. Because I said there wasn't enough Star Wars in it.
Well, where would you place it if you had a lineup? Sounds like you'd place it in a C or a D.
No. And I wouldn't call it a spy movie, a spy thriller. I'd call it a World War II.
Well, yeah, he's not a spy until probably the second season.
It's more like it's World War II resistance, French resistance kind of feel to it.
But it's also every man carried along, kind of Luke Skywalker-esque. He's being, found himself in a situation. He's having to rise to the occasion. Of course, he's already a murderer, so it helps him deal with stuff, of course. But things happen. I just love the fact that Patrick Stewart voiced like every game in the 90s.
Yes.
I'll be Picard every day of the week.
Armada 2. Those are great. I love those games. I've actually been replaying Armada 2. What do I have on this computer right now? I've got Star Trek Infinite, Star Trek Fleet Command, Star Trek Voyager Elite Force, Star Trek Starfleet Command Volume 3, Starfleet Bridge Commander, Star Trek Armada 2, Starfleet's Command.
Are these Steam games of gold, or you've got discs?
No, these are from GOG.
Okay.
I have some of the discs as well, but
do they do new games on GOG?
I don't think so.
Okay.
Because it's good old gaming. Starfleet Command, the first one, Star Wars Dark Forces, and Star Wars Jedi Knight Dark Forces 2. Those are all the ones I've installed right now.
I know you've said this a billion times about Vulcan Fury, but it'd be lovely to actually go in and remake those original games in Unreal or something. Like, same voiceover, same pacing, same levels, just... Especially for the Star Wars ones, like, there's so much legacy there of people enjoying them. The baseline there is solid, it's just,
And General Grievous gave Andor a B+, actually, not much higher.
There you go.
Close to our ranking, so...
And I assume that you would put the new Star Trek Infinite very high on your list of games.
No.
Like double S?
No.
Oh.
I have to go back and start playing it again.
Do you, though?
It's kind of boring.
It's funny, I started playing it, and then the tutorial was so unengaging.
Yeah.
I was like, huh. Because I really kind of wanted space battles early.
Yeah, exactly. I still haven't had a space battle. I'm playing for a little while.
You still haven't had a space battle?
No. Plus, I want to make more ships. I want to have actual real ships, not Oberth and Miranda classes.
Is that all you get? Oh no. But
Oh, I got a California class.
Super.
It's actually the Cerritos, I believe, too.
Yeah.
But anyway.
Nice. See, why is everything on Games of Gold but not actually buyable? Because they haven't reversed whatever it yet. But then don't put Hidden Evil up. I mean, that one's up, but the other ones, you can't do? The other ones that don't exist.
GOG has Hidden Evil? I haven't downloaded that yet.
Yeah, I just found it. Which that disc died for me. That did not work. Yeah, I already bought it, I guess. That's the one on the Baku planet, which is cool. Takes place around Insurrection. Apparently, it's actually, some people say it's a better story than Insurrection because it does more with it.
Well, guys, I guess we'll call it there.
Yes.
Bump anything, and that's fine.
Yeah.
But this was a fun discussion, I gotta say. These last 2 days, these last 2 lives, if you haven't seen them, go back and watch them.
Yeah, I like being the definitive place. It makes me happy. Yep. Yeah, they don't. They've totally added more games. They did not have these Star Trek games. They got Starfleet Academy now on Games of Gold.
Yeah, I got that too. I just don't have it installed right now.
I'm going to buy them all right now. Like, I'm totally going to play them. But I might play them.
It's the other thing. That's what I've installed. Have I played? Played a few. Some for a couple minutes, and I'll come back to this, and I never fucking do.
Which is funny. I feel like if they made, like point and click game is such a fun idea, and then you can get behind the shitty graphics that it's stylistic, right? But one kind of easy mode version where it just shows you where the solution is, and you just kind of just enjoy the story without having to like.
Great. Yeah, I can't stand puzzle games for that very reason.
Yes.
If I get frustrated and have to spend half an hour on a puzzle, I'm done.
Okay, so Starfleet Commands are now good. What a classic, eh? Starfleet Command 1.
Starfleet Command 2 is better.
I'm just saying, what a classic. Starfleet Command 1. Okay, so okay, I did buy Elite Force 2. Okay, that's interesting. Don't remember buying it, but okay, cool. Good for me.
Wish I could stream them. Wish I could stream gameplay. For some reason, it opens up full screen on my big monitor.
Uh-huh.
And my other monitor I can't do anything with. So I can't use OBS or anything, and it's really fucking weird.
Windowed mode?
Monitor when it does it. What?
Windowed mode?
I can do windowed mode, but then sometimes it's this small and I can't resize it, and it's like.
Oh. Yeah, I suppose a lot of that is if the game is 30 years old, it's actually running the shitty resolutions. If you window it, it goes to that resolution, so you can't. Yeah, full screen window mode is kind of almost missing the point.
It changes the resolution on my second monitor for some reason, so I can't do anything. It's frustrating.
But I'm glad I looked, because that's another £20 I don't have to spend on Star Trek games I'm not going to play. Thanks, Stuart.
World problems.
You just made them. You just made them money. Well done.
Problem. I have a stock in them apparently. Make money, well.
Yeah, I think you should get a cut.
Anyway, on that note,
yes.
Look forward to that at some point in the future.
Yes, indeed.
But thank you guys for watching. This has been fun discussion, and I'm looking forward to more of these. Hopefully you are as well. So come back and join us when you can.
Yes.
We love you guys.
We do.
Until next time.
Well, yeah, hopefully tomorrow with a topic.
Yes. Maybe we should just talk about Star Trek games in general tomorrow, and then do a tiered list next week.
Maybe. Ooh.
Anyway, on that note.